it's Amber. Welcome to my channel, and I post bookish and home fragrance content. I adore both and I like to share it with you guys. So today's video is my reading wrap up for the month of August. I was able to get through 6 books and I DNF'd one that was on my TBR, and one is carrying over into August. That was on my TBR. So let's jump into it. I'll just go ahead and share the ones, the one that I didn't finish, that I DNF'd, and the one that I'm working on still. And so the one I DNF'd was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I just think I'm kind of over the writing. I've noticed as they've progressed through the years, in my opinion, they've gotten a little more explicit, I guess. I don't know, it's been hit and miss with me. I like Something Wilder. That's probably my favorite by them. But then I've tried to read the one that came out before this one, which I can't even remember what it was, and then now this one, and I couldn't finish either of them. There's a lot of language and kind of crass stuff that I'm not a fan of. And so if there's too much of that, then I will not read it. So I DNF'd it. I'm not going to try Christina Lauren anymore because I just haven't been happy with her last few, unfortunately. Okay, and then the other one that I'm not DNFing this yet, but I decided to add this to my September TBR as one of my 9. I have 9 on my TBR this month because I wasn't all the way through this in August, but I was like, you know what? I still want to give it a chance, so I'll just add it to my TBR for the month of September. So Sanctuary of Shadow. It's about a like a carnival type of thing, and they live in a world that has regular humans, and then they also have like these magical creatures. I'm still not very far into it. We'll see. I might end up DNFing it. It's not grabbing me so far. We'll see. Okay, moving on to the ones that I did finish. So I was able to get through 6, as I said at the beginning, and 2 of them were from my TBR, and then others were for summer book bingo that I chose. Okay, so the first one from the month is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. And this one received a 3 stars from me. It would have gotten higher if it didn't have the issue that the one I DNF'd did. There was a lot of language, a lot more than I like to have, to where it almost got to the point where it took me out of the story, unfortunately. So it would have been probably higher rating otherwise, but it's about a girl named Liz, and she went through a little bit of trauma when she was younger, and she, well, I guess it's pretty much from the beginning of the book that they talk about it. She lost her mom when she was younger, and she had a really special connection to her mother. They would watch rom-coms together, like classic 80s, 90s rom-coms. And so she has that connection, and she wants to feel that in regards to love, have it be like a rom-com type of thing when she finds love for herself. And she thinks she can find that with a boy named Michael. He moved away when she was a kid, and he is back in the high school that she's going to her senior year. It's her senior year of high school, and so it's like the pinnacle of rom-comness. You have the senior year and all those things that it entails, and she's been dragging her feet about it because of her mom not being around. So she's like, Michael's a sign, and I've liked him since I was a kid, pretty much. Let me see if I can get him to ask me to prom. So it's almost the end of the school year. So she enlists the help of her next door neighbor, who is kind of like her arch nemesis, whose name is, what is his name? Oh yeah, Wes. His name is Wes. And she enlists his help. And he's always kind of been a thorn in her side, even since they were kids. So it goes from there, and, cuteness ensues. It is a rom-com, and she thinks that maybe there's something there between her and Wes instead of Michael, as Wes and Liz get closer. So it was super cute. 3 stars for me. It would have been higher if not for the language taking me out of the story. So Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. If language does not bother you, I would say give this one a shot. It is super cute, and it has, for each chapter, you can see a different quote from different rom-com movies. So that one is super cute that they do that. I just wish it didn't have the language that it did. Okay, moving on. The next book I read in August was Nosy Neighbors, and this is by Freya Sampson. And this is a cozy mystery. I read this one for Summer Book Bingo. It looked like a fun book. And it's about this old apartment complex, but it's like in a historical building, and it was turned into like 6 or so apartments. And something ends up happening to one of the residents where he gets injured. And so this old lady named Dorothy, and this girl is named Kat. Dorothy is very like standoffish to everybody. She's like grouchy to the max. She dislikes people. She wants people to follow the rules. She makes sure things are the way they're supposed to, that sort of thing. And Kat is an illegal tenant. She, according to Dorothy, she moves in I can't remember what his name is. This old guy that also lives across the way from Dorothy in the house, in the apartments, rents out one of his rooms to Kat. And Kat and Dorothy, of course, there's backstory to why they are the way they are. And you come to find out things through the course of the book, their backstories. And so it is a cozy mystery in regards to trying to figure out what happened. They try to figure out what happened to the person that was hurt, that was injured. But it's also about all of them trying to not let their home be torn down, because the newest owners want to tear down the building and build condos, high-rise, fancy new condos, instead of preserving the historical building and fixing all that. And so everyone in the apartments, they all band together. And so it's all about that. It's about people getting to know each other, seeing each other's good, and coming together to work on, those things. So there's a mystery aspect, but there's also more of a human connection type of aspect to the story. The story got about 3.5 stars, maybe 3.75. It was almost a 4-star for me. I did really enjoy it. Not normally my typical genre. I'm not big into contemporary mystery stories, but for what it was, cozy mystery contemporary, I thought it was fun. So 3.75 to 3.75. Okay, after that one, I read What the River Knows. This is by Isabel Ibanez. And this one was a lot of fun. This is a historical fantasy, and it is about a girl named Inez. She is from Bolivia, or Argentina. Bolivia or Argentina. I can't remember which one. I think it was Argentina, actually. And her parents go missing and are thought to be dead. They are like archaeologists, kind of, and this takes place like in the 1880s. They go missing, are presumed dead, and Inez ends up inheriting, all their stuff, and she wants to find out what's going on. So she takes a boat to Cairo, to Egypt, to confront her uncle, who is also like an archaeologist. He's like the main one, and to confront him to find out what happened. Yet he like drags his feet. He doesn't want to let her know what happened, and he's trying with all his might to try and get her to go back to Argentina. She got there unsupervised because at that time, 1880s, a young female that's not married isn't supposed to be traveling by herself. It'll ruin her. So he does his best to try and get her to go back to Argentina, and he has a like a right-hand man type of person whose name is, what is his name? I had to write down names so I would remember. His name is Whit, or Whitford something or other, and he's from England. And so he is kind of tasked with trying to get her back home, and that doesn't go very well for him. She always seems to invade him. And so there's a lot of banter. There's a mystery to the book. They're on a quest. The uncle ends up letting her stay, and they're on a quest to find Cleopatra's tomb, is what the main thing is. There's a lot of twists and turns in this book. Like, there were quite a few things that surprised me, and the ending kind of left me shocked to where I was like, what? I was like in shock. The second book comes out in November. I thought it was already out, but I have to wait till November. But it absolutely made me want to read the second book right away. So you will find a lot of surprises in this book. So it is super fun. It is, like I said, a historical fantasy. There's some like magical realism notes in the book. There's some plot that has to do with magic, and it's a super fun book. So highly recommend this, What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and I gave this, what did I give this? 4.25. It would have been slightly more, but Wit had a bit of a potty mouth, and again, I'm not a fan of the bad language, so it would have been higher if not for that. Okay, then after that, I read Hello Stranger, and this is by Catherine Center. And this is about a girl named Sadie. She is an artist, and she is kind of on the outs with her family since her mother passed away when she was younger. Another one. A lot of them end up having parents that have passed away. I'm just looking at these books and I'm like, oh yeah, there's been a lot of them. Okay, so her mother died when she was younger, and she doesn't have a really good relationship with her father, and she ends up becoming an artist, which is what her mother was. So she wants to be an artist. She was going to be a doctor. She changed her major to be an artist, and she has been struggling as an artist for a few years after she graduated school. She gets her big break, and then an accident happens to where she ends up developing what's called face blindness. There's an actual real term to it, but the layman's term is face blindness, to where people's faces, she doesn't recognize people, and they're all like jumbled up. Catherine Center did a really good job like explaining what it looked like to her when she looked at someone. Their like features were all different, like eyes and nose, and everything was like jumbled up mess kind of. And so she, as a portrait artist, this is not a good thing. And she was in a contest to win a prize that would give her some prestige and some money, which she desperately needed. And so now she has this condition that may be temporary. They said it may be temporary. They're hopeful that it's temporary. And she has to deal with that and all that entails. And in the meantime, she meets this veterinarian named Dr. Oliver Addison. And like she thinks he's like the one. But again, she can't really see him, his face, but she feels like from how he acts and all that, she feels like he is like the one that she wants to be with. And then at the same time, in her apartment complex, she meets this guy named Joe, who she hears him talking about some things that she's like super offended over. And so at first she does not like him at all. And then she ends up developing a friendship with him, realizes he's a really good guy, but still is like, I don't understand this thought in her head. I don't understand why he was acting that one way. The conversation that I overheard, yet at the same time, he's like this super helpful, really nice guy. So they end up developing a friendship. And so this kind of like a love triangle between Dr. Oliver and then Joe and, what did I say? Her name was Sadie. There we go, Sadie. So it's a super cute, fun book. And it's like a love triangle, but it isn't, because one of the characters isn't in it super a lot. I don't want to spoil anything. I say read this book. It's super cute, super fun. It was about a 4.5 stars for me, maybe 4.75. I like The Bodyguard better still by Catherine Center. So comparing it to that one was a 5-star for me. Comparing it, not a 5-star. So between 4.5, 4.75. Super cute, super fun. I enjoyed all the characters in it. And yeah, definitely pick this one up. It's not your normal love triangle. If you're not a fan of love triangles, it's not like your normal love triangle. Okay, then after that, I finished Light Lark, and this is by Alex Astor. This was actually a reread for me as part of the Homey and Homely book club. This was the book that the group was reading. So I was like, oh, I'll read it again, because there are other books now that are out in this series, and I did enjoy it. It was a 4-star for me the first time I read it. This time around, it was a 3-star, but I still enjoyed it. I will get around to the other books, I'm thinking. So this is about a girl named Isla, and actually I think the author wants it pronounced Isla, or Isla, something like that. But whenever I see the name, I think Isla, so I'm just saying Isla. So Isla, and she lives in this kingdom, and there's different kingdoms, and each kingdom is cursed. And every 100 years, the main island of Light Lark is available for the rulers of the kingdoms to come to the island to try to break the curse. of all the kingdoms, the curse that happened. And so Isla, who is the leader, the queen of the wildling kingdom, has to go to the island to compete and try and break the curse. Whoever breaks the curse gets like all the power type of thing of all the other kingdoms, kind of. And because of the prophecy in it, one of the kingdoms has to be destroyed or whatever, something like that. So she goes to the island and doesn't know who to trust. And she has secrets. I don't want to reveal the secrets, but she has secrets herself. There is the main ruler of Lightlark, I can't even remember. He's like over the sun type of stuff. Sunling or something like that. I can't remember. His name is Oro, and he's like the head leader of all the kingdoms, kind of. But he's the one that lives on Lightlark and is kind of in charge of the everyone trying to break the curse type of thing. So Oro and her kind of have like an agreement on working together. And then there's this other guy. There's like 5 Starling, Sunling, Moonling, Wildling, Darkling, and there was one more. What was the other one? Skyling. So 6 kingdoms total. And each ruler is there to try and break this curse. And so, of course, you don't know who to trust. Isla herself has secrets that could be a detriment to her and her kingdom that she has to hide. The other like main character, his name is Grim, and he's a Darkling. He's never been, or he hasn't been in the last few centennials. He hasn't been there to help break the curse, at least. So he's there, so he's kind of an unknown. So it's fun. It's a good book. Like I said, 3 stars this time for me. I did enjoy it. It did kind of have a bit of a twist, a couple twists actually, towards the end. But this reread for me, it wasn't as enjoyable, probably just because I've read it before and it wasn't one to begin with where I was like over the moon about. But it was still good. Definitely worth reading. And eventually I may continue the series. Okay. Moving on. So with my books and bars, with my reading wrap up, I always also go over at the end what am I doing? I'll finish my thoughts. I go over the wax melts that I used while I was reading because I do enjoy home fragrance along with my books that I read. So that will be at the very end. I've split it up. That way, if you want to skip, you can, or that sort of thing. I should have mentioned this at the beginning and I forgot. But I have one more book to share. I forgot about this. So I also finished Borrow My Heart, and this is by Casey West. This is a cute, clean YA rom-com. Casey writes clean YA rom-coms. I think she had a kind of I'm trying to remember, like a fantasy or a dystopian. She had something else, but her main focus in her books are usually like YA romance. So this was super cute. This was about a girl named Ren, and she ends up helping this boy named Asher, who comes into the coffee shop she's in. She's there hanging out with her friend Camilla, and she's like in this hidden nook kind of, and she hears Asher and his friend Dale talking about meeting a girl that he supposedly met on the internet, who's supposed to come to the coffee shop and meet him in person. Well, Dale is giving him a super hard time, like threatening to make him do something ridiculous if she doesn't show up. And so Ren overhears this conversation, and she decides to pretend to be this girl that Asher's supposed to meet. And so that's where the story starts. And she gets in kind of too deep for a while there, to where she continues to pretend to be this other girl. And super cute. She works at a shelter, so a lot of the book is about her trying to get this one dog adopted, and Asher ends up helping her with that sort of thing. Super, super cute book. 3 stars, clean. Like I said, no language, very, very cute. So if you're looking for a good book for your teen and you don't want them to read a lot of inappropriate content, this book is a good one for that. And pretty much anything by Casey West is a good choice for sure. So that is Borrow My Heart. Did I say 3 stars? It was a 3 stars for me. Okay, moving on to the wax. So, with Better Than the Movies, I decided to use Blue Agave and Melon. This is a really wonderful summery scent, and I felt like with it getting towards the end of the year in the book, that this would be a good, senior year's ending, let's get into the summery scents. So this has blue agave, this has kiwi, and this has I think it's honeydew melon, because I'm not normally big into watermelon or cantaloupe, but I enjoy honeydew in home fragrance. So that is for that. Oh, and all these aren't available anymore, unfortunately. The catalog season now for Scentsy is in fall and winter, just started September 1st, and I'm very excited about that. But all these bars are either they were limited time bars or they were summer and spring bars. There's only one, actually, now that I'm looking at these, that is available now. So I will talk about that. Okay, the next one for Nosy Neighbors, I melted the one I'm going to talk about that is available. Very vanilla. This is a classic kind of vanilla. It's so nice, and there's a woodsy quality to it too. And it's just a classic vanilla, sweet, but not cloying, and that woodsiness to it. I think sandalwood, I'm pretty sure it's sandalwood that's in this. Or no, it's tonka. It's tonka bean. I remember now. The tonka bean in it gives it this extra depth. It's really nice. So it's not like a bakery vanilla, really. It's more on the, a classic vanilla type of scent. So I figured that would work really well, because Dorothy in the story was a classic lady that wants things prim and proper. So that one is available, but the rest of them are not. Okay, then after that, for What the River Knows, I melted, what did I melt? Dark Harbor. This was a Bring Back My bar, so it was a limited time offer bar, and this is a dark aquatic type of scent. I think there was lavender in it too, but it was a more masculine type of lavender. I think it was black lavender, something like that. But this is a really nice, musky, deep, aquatic type of scent. And I felt for the story, going to Egypt, that type of thing, the mystery of trying to find Cleopatra's tomb, that this was a good fit for that. So Dark Harbor. Then for Hello Stranger, I melted Lucky in Love. This is a classic. This is I started purchasing Scentsy in 2007. This is one of the first bars I ever bought. It was my first love for sure. Adore the scent. And I was like, oh, this one, I have to melt this one with the story, because the story is so sweet and fun. And this bar is sweet and fun. So it's like a dupe for Victoria's Secret Love Spell. If you guys remember that scent from back in the day, that's what this smells like. So I had to melt it with that. So that is for that one. Then for Light Lark, I melted, when was it? This one. It was Water Lily and Bergamot, which was part of the summer collection, not available anymore. This was a really nice scent. There is a green and floral note to it, and with Isla being a wildling, she's like kind of has an affinity, or wildlings are supposed to have an affinity to nature type of thing. And so I felt like with the like aquatic notes, the lily notes, the like greenness of this one, I felt like it was a perfect fit for that book. And then last but not least is Borrow My Heart. This, I used Sun Castles. This was part of the spring summer catalog. Not available anymore. Hopefully we will see it next year. I did end up adding this to Scentsy Club, which is our subscription service. It's to where I can get the bar even after it's retired. It's the best. Scentsy Club is the best. But this is like pistachio, almond, coconut, and I get a pineapple note to it too. It's so nice. And I was like, this takes place during the summer. We need a super summery scent, and Sun Castles is definitely that. So that is it, you guys. That is what I got through as far as reading for the month of August, and the home fragrance that I used with the books while I was reading. So thank you guys so much. What did you get through? If you have a video, link that in the comments and I will watch it. Or just tell me in the comments, what books did you read? What fragrances did you enjoy this past month? I'd love to know all those things. Thank you guys for spending some time with me. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I post a ton of home fragrance and book content for you all. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.